Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this evening for the Discipline Therapy podcast. The Discipline Therapy is light and lively. With your two hosts, Suhey Sotomayor, and with me, but far away and not really with me, that's you.
Oh, wait, but not really with you?
Because you're home, you're at your home,
distracted?
I'm at my home.
Oh, okay. Thought you meant that figuratively. Like, I'm distracted or whatever.
No, I mean distance. You're home, I'm home.
EL Discipline in the building.
People know who you are. Yes.
EL Discipline in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We have an interesting topic of conversation today. We have a special guest, right?
Yes, we do. But I'm gonna wait to introduce until she comes.
In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, what you could do is we're also on the major listening platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, Deezer, Castbox, and many more. Many more. Because we know that we have fiends. People want their dose. I was going to say daily. They want their dose weekly. Eventually, they're going to be requesting daily.
Their weekly dose of what?
I'm getting to that. Or you could do it.
No, I was
keep interrupting me.
I was going to say their weekly dose of stimulating conversations after dark.
Yes. Our conversations are stimulating. We always make sure that we do it late night so the kids are in bed. It's more of like a laid back scene where people are, they could have had a stressful day at work.
Especially nowadays.
They're tuned in. They're all right. This is my therapy. This is my release. You're driving to the supermarket. You're working out.
Coming home from work. Yep.
Coming home from work. The train ride, because I've had some fans who have emailed me or DM saying that, oh, I love the show. I'm listening to it online. I mean, not online. I'm listening to it on the train.
Hi.
So hello.
Hey.
Hi.
So
how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So this is our guest, everyone. This is our guest.
Yay! The
clapping hands. Already?
The clapping hands. Come on, Lite. This is me.
I thought I was, I didn't know you were gonna start. I don't know what you guys are talking about first, but okay. Hi.
Oh.
I was just introducing the show. We didn't even go into the topic yet.
Okay, so do your thing. Call me back when you're ready.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, since you are fiends, what that means is we have a dose of discipline therapy where everything is completely free. See, if you subscribe, there's no monthly fee. It's free. It's judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or roll a blunt. But the main thing is make sure the kids are in bed, because we have the soulful, sometimes vulgar conversations. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're here.
She must have gone to go get her popcorn. Definitely. Aha.
You missed that "we're here" thing. We do that.
I said we're here.
We'll do that shit in unison. You missed it. No do-overs. No do-overs.
No do-overs. I said it, by the way. Anyway, our special guest today is Lite. She's an Aries zodiac sign, which is the Ram. She's Costa Rican and Haitian. She's an entrepreneur and also host of her show In the Mix Prime with Light and Lively. And she also does Light Chat every Monday evening. Now, today's topic is, would you rather have good love and bad sex, but he or she, for both of you, pays the bills, or great sex and okay love or bad love? He or she doesn't pay any bills, doesn't do anything for you, but the sex is phenomenal.
You could go first.
Who?
Light. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Guest
because there's
always
two
first.
women. You making it
Wait,
seem
wait.
like it's only us. You're included too, so in this.
Well, no, I just I was thinking about that question. Like I was really thinking about that question hard. And I'm like, sex is good and everything, but there's nothing worse than a man not handling any type of responsibility whatsoever and you doing everything as a woman.
The sex only can go so far.
Exactly. So I mean, at that point, I could just help myself out. I don't really need, like, if my thing is, if I got to do everything,
Might as well do everything.
There's toys and other things. Like, I don't really, like, what do I need you for exactly?
I knew you would have said that. Now, as far as responsibilities, what you said as a responsibility of a man. So everybody has their different definitions or like, whatever it is as far as responsibilities. So what is your definition of a man's responsibility when he's
You
in a
gotta, you basically need to make me feel like a woman. Now, what that means to me and what that means to somebody else might be different. I don't know.
We just want to know what you think.
I just feel like, okay, some men feel like if a woman is making more money or handling business or whatever, I've been told some men feel emasculated by that. So they feel like less of a man because a woman is doing, quote unquote, more than whatever the traditional man role is supposed to be. So some men, not all, feel like a little bit resentful. They could start feeling a little resentful towards a woman. So as far as like the man role and like taking care of a household per se, I just kind of feel like in a relationship, one hand is supposed to wash the other. So if I'm up and you're down, I should, as a woman, I'm gonna be able. I got your back. I'm gonna, support you while you're getting on your feet. But don't get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too comfortable.
So that's specifically for you, not what you think a relationship should be, but a man who engages or builds a commitment with you. That's what you feel.
Right. Because I kind of feel like, there's so many mixed signals. It's like nowadays the roles seem to have changed as far as like what a woman is supposed to be, what we're supposed to do. Like I don't even fucking know. Like I don't even know anymore. At this point, it's like, okay, some people feel one way, like it's just I've heard complaints like from my friends and different things. So years ago before I became got into a serious relationship and I used to date, there was nothing worse than me having my own and having a guy come over and you getting real comfortable in my crib and you handing up the remote control and flicking channels and watching TV and shit, and you're not and you're not contributing, or you want to play video games at Xbox and PS5 or 4, whatever it is now. Like there's nothing to me personally. I'm like, where's the ambition? And then you want to like certain men, you want to complain about, oh well, you're not my mother, then act like a man then.
Let me ask you a question.
I concur with that. I don't have any disputes or rebuttals. But go ahead and then I'll ask him my question.
What type of woman would you consider yourself to be? Like an alpha, a feminist, a dominant woman, a submissive, an alpha submissive? Do you have any labels?
I don't really have any labels per se, but I've been kind of told that I'm like an alpha, like I have a strong personality. As far as being submissive, I kind of have an issue with that word, and I'm just gonna say I feel like if you as a man are doing what you're supposed to do, as far as I'm concerned, to make me feel comfortable and make me feel secure, there's pretty much nothing that I wouldn't do for you. So
Okay.
if you need me to do something, I think it just depends on the approach. You know,
Okay.
like if you coming at me like, oh well, I need you to do that. Like you coming at me a little too demanding, like I owe you something. You're gonna get the pushback. I'm gonna be like, well, I don't know who the hell you talking to. You know what I'm saying? You might get
So, Sue, are you in agreement with that? I think you said
No,
something like similar in a prior show.
I think what I said was, in general, kind of like what she says, women have a problem with that word because we're taught that word has a negative connotation to it.
right.
And so when someone is gonna ask us to do something, I said I feel like most women, it depends on how they're asked. You know what I mean? Like I could talk for myself. Growing up, I had my dad, always barking orders at me. And so when I started dating, especially as a younger woman, I didn't want to hear somebody barking orders at me. Talk to me correctly. That's what I think that I was nodding my head because I'm agreeing with that's how a lot of women are.
Mm, I agree. Now, as far as earlier you said about you making more money than a man, or if you're more ambitious or alpha, I'm just paraphrasing
Mhm.
verbatim. Um, you said that it feels like they feel emasculated,
I have been told
or you
because
have been told.
I
Okay.
have been told because I have a strong personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I have to be careful because some men, like, okay, put it this way. So in a relationship, right? I've been told, oh, well, you feel like you want to wear the pants.
Mm.
Wait, you've been told by your
Partner.
partner?
In a relation, yeah.
Now,
Not
now, now, do you mind me
in the
asking?
past. In the past, I've been told that. Not currently, but
Do
yeah.
you mind me asking? Are you like what is your marital status now? Are you
I
single?
think she
I'm
said she's in
completely
a she's in a
I
relationship.
really, I don't want to really disclose my status,
okay.
but I'm in a
Okay.
relationship,
Okay, you're in a relationship. Okay.
long
So
relationship.
being that, some men may feel emasculated or whatever, if okay, I feel that the biggest issue with society nowadays, which is why we have these problems with men and women. I've said this in a prior show. There's an imbalance. Women are not putting themselves in men's shoes and vice versa. Now, since this is like female and male lineage, since
What do you
the
mean? I'm sorry,
dawn,
sorry. What do you mean women are not putting, you said women are not putting themselves in men's shoes?
yeah, since the dawn of civilization, men have prided themselves in being the more stronger species. So, for example, us being hunters, us being providers, us being go getters or risk takers or whatever it is. Like, this is why when you have gotten with these men in the past, they felt this way. Now, me personally, as a man, and you know my history as a man because I was on your show like twice. You follow me and whatever. Me, I know myself. That's another problem. Being that I'm knowledge of self, it makes me psychologically immune to the bullshit in society.
Can I ask
So
her a
now,
question?
so hold on. So now, me having knowledge of self, it doesn't make me feel any type of way if a woman makes more money than me, if a woman's more intelligent, if a woman feels like she's more dominant or more ambitious, because I know that I'm still a man. It doesn't make me feel emasculated or whatever it is. I know that when I get in a relationship with a woman, it's a partnership, it's a team thing. So if you are smarter than me, that's great because now I'm going to see, I'm going to utilize you efficiently where it's like, oh, if you want to help me with my business, you want to do this, there's certain things I can't do. It's like I feel like this is like a relationship is like chess. where it's like the queen is the most powerful piece, even though the king is the most prominent. She can move in ways on the board the king can't.
I
So
wish
it's
more men knew that. Damn it, I wish more men knew that because they just don't know. I
well,
feel like,
that's go ahead.
yeah, when you said that
The
women,
opposite.
don't know how to be in a man's role. First of all, I
Mm-mm.
don't think
I
did
said
I say that wrong.
sometimes. I said let me reiterate. Some women, or most women, not all, are not putting themselves in men's shoes, and vice versa.
But when you say that, why would we put ourselves in men's shoes? In what
Be,
respect, though?
being that those women, not saying you per se, but those women don't understand those, whether it's struggles those men go to, those hardships on a daily basis, those men who have to perhaps compete with other men, those men who have to be high earners. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so my thing with that is, how is that our fault? And if men, because a lot of men don't know how to communicate, so what you do is you internalize certain things and then you take it out on your partner, which is not fair.
Some men,
Or you
some
get
men,
weak and thinking about whatever the
and
hell happened for the day or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
so
And then we feel a way because you don't speak, you don't
so
communicate, you don't tell us what is like, how would we know?
remember, I said vice versa. So men are doing this too. Men are not putting themselves in the woman's shoes, realizing, oh, she might be going through this. She might be going through that. Like, I've met so many women who are alpha and dominant, who are high earners, who are like, oh, I don't need a man. I don't do this. I don't do that. Me, it's like, I still offer. Even if you're not gonna ask for it or whatever. As a man, I feel like it's my duty to provide. That's always my instinct. You mean it's like a
Okay, let me ask.
lion? It's like a lion mentality. Go ahead.
So go ahead.
I just wanted to ask her. You said that it had happened to you where a person that you were with in a relationship said that you wanted to wear the pants in the relationship. What was he meaning about? Because you were making more money than him, or something?
No, and you know what
Something.
I said to him when he said that? I said, so then why don't you put on the pants? Because
Ooh.
my
And
thing
what did he
is
say?
cricket, 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 cricket. Now my discipline is like, but my thing is you okay, because so this is what I explained, right? I have been on my own for a very long time, right? So if I'm used to like just doing things on my own, having to deal with things, having to take care of things,
Not
and
asking for help.
whatever, not asking anybody for anything, whatever. So if I'm making a decision, I'm just used to making decisions because I have to. It has nothing to do with you.
Mm.
So whoever the man is, like, you need to understand that, because I think that they felt like maybe I was stepping on their toes, or I always wanted to take the lead because I'm
Ba-
used to leading.
w-
I'm used to
Making all
having
the decisions
control.
on your own. But I think this is what discipline meant when he said that women and men aren't stepping onto their respective partners' shoes. I think what he meant is, because you're used to making all the decisions on your own, because you've been on your own for a while,
Yeah.
that instead of getting angry, instead, when he says a comment like that, try to understand why he's doing that comment, even though he might not be understanding or not verbalizing it. I
but
think as a woman in a relationship, maybe we have to be like, all right, is it because of this? And then ask, why are you behaving that way? Like, why would you say that? And see
but
what they say.
but he has to understand her side as
A
well.
100%.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why
It's
he should
it's
be doing
it's
it
a
as well.
mutual thing. There's probably a lack of communication, right? It's not efficient, it's not adequate. You said the man is not verbalizing. This is all beta male tendencies. Simp a reactivity.
What can you explain to me what's that mean exactly? Beta
Can I
man.
can I just say something
Yeah.
also? It might not be 100% simp activity. It might be just not knowledge of self and not being able to express how he's feeling. Because keep in mind, most men are taught to keep their emotions and their feelings to themselves. So if he's feeling bad because he feels like less of a man, because she's, doing everything without asking, all that is going to turn into resentment and anger, and he's not going to know how to talk, how to speak.
Or
Right.
I've also been told, what did he say? Oh, so for example, so let's say like I ask opinion. Also, what do you think about this?
Be specific. What do you mean?
No, when she asks him.
Like if I ask a question to my partner, like, okay, so say I want to do something. Say I want to like
pay your nails.
Okay. Buy a car, or make a purchase about something, right? So I'll be like, all right, so what do you think about this? Da da da. I've gotten, well, you just gonna do what you want to do anyway. So like, I don't even know why you like. Okay,
can I ask you a personal question?
Uh-huh.
Can I ask you a personal question? And you could always plead a fifth. Do you have a preference of race or preference of a man?
Preference? I don't know if it's a preference, but I've always dated black men. I've never dated like or had a serious relationship with a Hispanic or
white male.
Anything outside of African American, Black, West Indian, what you want to call it. Not necessarily. I don't think I've ever met. If I would have met somebody, I don't know. I can't say I have a that treated me the way that I wanted to be treated, or whatever the case is.
And he was white.
Well, I mean, are you even attracted to that, or you're just more attracted to black men?
I think I'm just more attracted to black. Like if it was a white dude and they had some swag, then you know what I'm saying. Maybe I could, whatever. But I've never really been. That's never just been my thing.
But can I ask you something else? Mm-hmm. What attracts you to a man, or like? Is it like what he possesses that attracts you to him, or like his outward appearance, finances, social dynamic, his character?
What's funny? I've never been one to. I've never been like about the money. Like that's never been my thing. It's always been like how you make me feel, how you treat me, if you make me laugh, can I talk to you? Like even because what the one thing that pisses me off about some women is like I'm not like a money hungry person, and I've had men with money who are very unattractive to me approach me, and they think because they have money like that's gonna make me want to. That will not. Like I'm just not. I can't do it. If I don't like you, if I'm not attracted, I'm just not. Like it doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. I don't care. Like if you are like hideous to me, and I don't like. No amount of money is gonna make me want to be with you. Like I don't understand. Like some women, these young women, they want to go after grandpa. Like I couldn't.
Like a sugar daddy.
Like
yeah,
I could.
That's weird to me too.
It's weird. I mean, I had a situation.
You had a sugar daddy?
I did have a sugar daddy.
Oh.
But right, see, here's the thing with. I met this guy traveling years ago. Why am I telling this story? Damn. But okay. Where was I going? I forgot where. But anyway, I was on a plane. I met him at the airport. I was trying to hook him up with my mom. Like he was sitting next to me on the, we were like chatting, whatever, Puerto Rican. I forgot where I was coming from. Anyway, and I was really trying to. He was more in my mother's age. I was like, wait, maybe y'all could be friends or whatever. So he gave me with like a proposition. And the thing is, I never slept with him, never. But I used to get showered with gifts. I used to get taken out to the finest restaurants. I got jewelry. I used to get flowers delivered to me like damn near it was cool. But used to go to the Broadway shows when shit was open. But I'm
Did
like,
you ever ask for sugar?
And that's when I had to cut it off.
Oh, really? He did? I mean,
well, you know what? Because my thing is, we were supposed to be friends, right? And I told him at the time, I was like, well, I have a boyfriend.
Oh.
I had a boyfriend. So I was like, well, I wasn't living with my boyfriend, but I let it be known I had a boyfriend and he was living with a woman.
Oh.
So I like, you knew I have a man and you got a woman at home. So I wasn't trying to, first of all, like I said, I was trying to hook him up with my mom's. I wasn't even trying to go there. He paid for me to go to bartender school. He hooked me. He took care of me. That was,
how
it was
long,
nice.
How long were you, like, how long did that go on for? If you don't mind me asking, you could always
It
plead the fifth.
went. It went on. It went on for, I don't know. I could say a year or so, maybe. Like it was. It wasn't. I don't think it was more than a year. But my thing was, I was on. See, back then we wasn't, or women weren't. Well, I wasn't. I was never. Like I said, I was never the type. Like, no matter how much money you had, like if I didn't like you, I didn't like you. Like I said, but if you want to trick on me, what he told me, he was like, he just wants a friend. He wants like a Barbie doll on his arm when he goes out, or he wants like like somebody to do things with. I don't know why he wasn't doing it with his own woman at home, but hey, at the time I'm like, who am I to ask? Okay, as long as I'm not sleeping with you. So to me, I was like, why not? Like I'm being entertained.
Mm.
I didn't want anything from you. Supposedly, see, I was young and naive back then, but supposedly, you know, I didn't realize at the time. Well, men always want more.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Mm. Can you guys hear me?
Now we
I
can.
knew that was gonna come up. It seems like it was freezing, but yeah, I was in my 20s. I was like out of college then. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, things are different now. So I'm
How old
just
are you? How
like,
old are you now?
that's a good question.
You could
That I
you
want
could
to
plead
answer.
a
That's a
I
fifth.
plead the
question.
fifth
You'll
on that.
never
You
know.
could plead a fifth.
I
You
plead,
could plead a fifth.
I plead, I plead the fifth on
All right.
that.
Do you have any
I
kids?
say I'm 25. I'm 25 for life. Too. No, not
You don't
yet.
have any children. Okay.
Do you think men are attracted to to strong women, or that's something that they're not? That
I
they
think
rather have a weaker woman.
it depends on their self-esteem.
Mm.
That's true.
Because I've been in rooms with men, and I think I might intimidate. I think strong women intimidate some men. Depends on the type of man it is. If it's like a
Yes.
confident man and da 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 da. But like I said, some men feel like just because they have money, that would be able to pull any woman, but that would not work on somebody like me because I know
Yeah,
who I
cause
know what I like.
and you make your own. So even
Right.
if he has a lot of money, it's not gonna really impress you.
Impressed. Right.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
doesn't.
If you don't have money like that, then you could become that opportunist. You run into the money, but you have your own. You pride yourself in being self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So financially, anyways. I
Is
don't,
that discipline? May I ask you? Is that your definition of a strong woman? Like, what's your definition of a strong woman?
um my definition of a strong woman has nothing to do with finances. You know what I'm
Me.
saying? That it has to do with a woman who is intelligent. It has to do with a woman who is like when I alpha. And let me explain what alpha is. She doesn't run in a pack. So that means that if she likes a man, I'm going to give you the scenario. She likes a man. She started dating him. She's not going to say to her girl, excuse me,
Oh, what do you think?
what do you think about him? Is he cute? He does this, he does that. Would you date him? She has that high self-esteem. A woman who's strong and low self-esteem is not synonymous. So that's like somebody that I think, like when you talk about like alpha female or strong woman, you know, she's an intellectual. She can converse. She's an introvert and an extrovert. She doesn't run in a pack. She has high self-esteem. She doesn't need validation from other people. She doesn't care what people think. She's she's not going on social media and twerking and doing all this stuff if she's not a stripper. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like attention seeking. And if she's strong, she doesn't need validation from people. That's somebody that's strong minded, strong emotionally. It has nothing to do with finances or physical. So
Like,
that's
what do
my
you think a
definition.
strong woman is?
I agree with everything Discipline said. And I'll just, not to put my family business out there, but I think the reason I am the way that I am as far as so independent is, I grew up seeing my mom go through a lot with men.
Mm,
And I said
That's
to
what it is.
myself, I will never
mm,
depend on a
Yep.
man for
mm,
anything. Because there were times that, like, my mom at the time, I guess she did what she had to do, didn't make necessarily best choices, but there were times where it was almost like these mofos, like it's a control thing. So if she didn't have it, if you wanted to feed your kids or whatever, 'cause she was a single mom raising 3 kids, like you had to listen to, I'm not listening to nobody. I'm going to do what I want to do for the most part. Like, I'm not going to disrespect you, but I just have a problem watching. It's like, so basically, if I need you, that means that you can control me and I have to do what you say
You
because
talking
you
about a
said,
man?
yes, because I saw my mom go through certain things just to kind of like get by, because she, she was foreign to this country and like, you know what I'm saying? So she didn't
So
have,
she needed that person, and he made her feel bad for it.
yeah, or just whatever it was like, okay, whatever amount of money that you have is not worth you treating me like shit.
Mm.
Now let me ask you a question. You said your mom was
Right?
raising 3 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any sisters?
Me, a sister, and a brother. We 3 of us grew up together.
Is your sister dominant like you as well?
No.
No. Wow. How about your brother?
No. So you mentioned I was an Aries, and you did your little research. I'm glad. Thank you for that. She knew, where I'm from and everything, and what I represent, what I'm about. It's crazy because I am people don't really, but some people don't believe in like the zodiac sign, but I'm into like that spiritual thing, and I'm into zodiacs. I'm not saying that I gotta live by every single thing and every single thing that is said is necessarily correct, but I am an Aries female. My brother is an Aries male. We are nothing alike. Because as far as that control factor, again, so even if it wasn't, say, a man trying to control me, as long as I was under my mother's roof, she tried to control me.
Are you the oldest out of the 3?
I'm the middle.
Your sister's older than you?
My sister's the oldest, yeah. So
What
I'm
sign is she?
the middle. I'm the middle child, so the black sheep, aka black sheep. I've always been a strong personality, and I've always just wanted to do better. But the thing is, the things that I saw my mom go through, I was like, yo, I will not ever. And I think that whoever is in a relationship with me or whatever, like there's certain things I wouldn't disclose. Like I wouldn't necessarily, if it didn't come up, like if we weren't talking, like if it didn't come up, I would have never even brought it up. But I think that has a lot to do with the way that I approach things now. Because
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm not into, like, I wouldn't want to take abuse just because I need you to have a roof over my head, or I need you to eat, or I need you to do anything. Like, I'm not doing that. So I had to.
You're saying that most men you've encountered have put those conditions, like, yo, if I do this, you got to do this?
Yeah.
No, but I was in a relationship that turned a little crazy, where it was a control factor. The guy was very jealous, and it turned ugly. I had to wind up getting my ex fiance. I had to wind up getting like restraining orders. I got stalked, and like it was crazy, and a control thing. I don't know. That's why. I mean, he would have.
Thank goodness you're okay.
Oh no, he would have. He told me he was going to kill me, because he told me the night that I got him arrested. He said if he was actually plotting to murder me that night. So if I had not got him arrested that night, yeah, I wouldn't have been here. So it was a good thing that I did.
How long were you with him for?
4 years.
Holy moly!
And you know when things got bad? When we got engaged, everything was okay, and then when I tried to leave him, that's when shit turned. Real. When I tried to leave, that's when things got worse. The signs were there, but it was like, it was crazy because, you guys know me. I have a strong personality. I speak
Yeah.
my mind, and then like my body became an issue. The same thing that you
Wait. I'm sorry to cut you off. Your body became an issue. Can you elaborate? Like, do you mean
he
like
was
as far
jealous.
what he liked
He
or
was
this?
jealous. He was jealous. He was. I have a booty.
Oh,
He was
okay.
very like if other men would look
Okay.
at me, or I remember I ran into like he was just embarrassing. I ran into like like I couldn't talk to no other man.
Mm.
If he was around, who's that? Who's that? Like there's no way I could have unless he knew who the guy was. It wasn't happening. So I think that has a lot to do with why I am the way I am.
So when you're in a relationship with someone, you want to have male friends as well? That's something that's you require that?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. I don't. But if I've known someone for like years, I'm not gonna just cut them off. I'm not gonna be talking on the phone with them all the time, or I'm not gonna be hanging out. I try to kind of avoid that because I just think it causes problems.
Mm.
Like there's really no need for me to hang out with another guy per se. Like unless like if my partner knows most of my friends.
Mm.
So if I'm going somewhere, you know who this is. He don't know every dude I know, but he knows the like what I'm into. So I know a lot of people. Just because I know a lot of people does not mean that everybody's my friend.
Mm.
I have a lot of
That's
acquaintances, but sometimes I feel like I don't know. Well, first of all, since the pandemic hit, there's been no going
well.
out.
Let me ask you a question about the pandemic because we usually ask this off rip to our guests, but we just jump right into the topic. What have you taken away, or what have you learned about yourself from this pandemic? Like, did you monopolize off of it? Was it the worst? Was 2020 the worst year for you? Like, no.
No, what have I learned? Well, 2020, I like my day hustle. I'm in the medical field, so I have not had a break. So, where everybody's like home and what I don't I never had that issue. My
Mm.
issue
Yeah.
is that I have to go in harm's way every day and
Yeah.
try to avoid getting anything. So I think that it just made me realize I don't necessarily need to be around so many people.
Mm.
Mm.
And
It made you more cautious.
yeah, I'm super cautious. Like I don't need to be everywhere.
Mm.
But you know what's funny? Before the pandemic happened, I was always the one in the office, Lysol every day. Like I was always like, because people are just nasty in general.
Mm.
Like I was always, like no, I don't, people are just nasty. So
Yeah.
that was nothing new to me. Like I was always spraying the Lysol. Then I couldn't find Lysol nowhere. That was pissing me off. But um, I just kind of learned that like and there's a lot of other ways to do things. Like with the Zoom, love this, because I
Mhm.
don't necessarily have to go and travel anywhere to take care of certain things. But I do miss the social scene. I miss going out and dancing and having a cocktail and stuff. And, I do miss that sometimes. But I also realize, like, there's a lot of people I have not heard from.
Oh.
Uh,
Mhm. Yeah.
like close friends,
Definitely.
family.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you kind of put into perspective what's important.
Mm.
And who's there and
And
who's real.
um, basically, it's just me and really my immediate and even family.
Mm.
Even family, like I'm learning to kind of protect my energy a little bit more. I just don't want to be around certain people. If you bring me any negative energy or vibes, I don't want to be around you.
Mm.
Good for you.
I'm like, it's not important. Like I would rather just be by myself. Like now, I don't mind being like, I don't have to be in I've never been like that anyway. Yes, yeah, I go out. Yeah, love to party and all that. But pandemic, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what you got. I don't want you breathing on me. Um, yeah, because I was like, I don't even say a germaphobe per se, but yeah, I was kind of like that already. Now I'm like, okay, I don't
Now
know.
you're all right,
Yeah,
let me ask you a
I'm.
question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say I'm a big germaphobe prior to COVID, so I kind of could resonate.
You can relate. Like
That's why I
somebody
was smiling because
too heavy. I'm
I was
like,
thinking
ugh.
about you
Yeah.
with your Lysol. That's why
Yeah.
I was laughing. Anyway, so women don't like to be called sluts or anything like that, hoes, bitches, stuff like that. But they always say that they want to be fucked like a slut. What do you think that means? And I'm gonna ask Discipline first. What do you think it means when a girl says that she wants to be fucked like a slut, but she doesn't like to be, called that?
I've actually never really heard that before. I don't even know if that makes any sense. I think that okay.
So do
I
you let?
kind of feel like maybe they want it rough or something. Like maybe they don't want you to be all gentle, and so sometimes you just want to get fucked. And then sometimes you want to be made love to. There's a difference.
Mm.
Okay.
There's a difference. Sometimes you might want to be playful, flirty, build up to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to make shit fun.
Okay.
Like
Discipline, what do you think?
you can't just be rolling over and just you're sliding in and like that shit don't that
It's
I mean
boring.
I'm like
I mean, I think that's why women don't really gravitate towards nice guys. And even though like bad boys and dominant men and alpha males get like there's myths and misconceptions, and I think they have a big misconception for those Pacific men, but women gravitate towards those men more because they look at those men on an overall basis: sex, bedroom, earner, ambition, won't take no shit. Now, sometimes beggars can't be choosers because the woman might like the bad boy, but now she wants to change him and try to make him submissive or whatever it is. That happens often. But I believe that women want to be treated with respect outside of the bedroom and disrespect inside. Even a feminist, she could be preaching like women power and independence and all that, but those women gravitate towards dominant men more because if they meet men who are lesser than them, they run them and they're just bored. You might be with the beta male because he's stroking your ego, but realistically, you don't look at a guy like that as going to give me adequate love. You don't look at a guy like that I'm going to build with him because he's not doing dominant things. He's not engaging in alpha male activity. If he's a beta male, he's probably not an earner. He's probably lazy. He probably doesn't know how to love you and treat you. Women are aware of that. Women are like wolves. You know what I'm saying? They sense this stuff as pheromones. So I believe that is true what you stated. Women don't want to be called sluts or hoes or whatever it is unless they're in the sexual environment and treated that.
not really. I
You
I
just said men like you just said something about rough.
we like it.
Now,
Okay,
if you look at a nice
rough.
guy,
Wait
if
a
you
minute,
look at a
hold
nice
on. Rough.
guy, if you look
Wait a
at a
minute. Wait a
nice
minute. Wait
guy, if you look at a nice guy and you know that he's a nice guy and he's timid and he's shy and submissive, are you thinking of the bedroom with him? You just said you prefer black men more than all other races. Correct or
Right, but
incorrect?
okay, but hold on. Yeah, but but I cannot recall ever a man calling me a slut or a whore, and you
In the
can still
bedroom?
be rough
In
without
the
having
bedroom?
to. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can still be rough in the bedroom or dominant in the bedroom without all that. Like I might punch you in your mouth. Like I'm not. Like I'm not. Like well, who the fuck you? Like I'm like
In the bedroom.
yeah. Like I've
So
never.
you're telling me when serotonin and dopamine and the endorphins are kicking in and your eyes are rolling in the back of your head and that big dick is thrusting you, you're telling me that you're gonna be like, what you say? You're gonna stop and you're gonna punch him.
I might look. Listen,
Mm,
I'm just saying. I've never had anybody call me like I like to talk shit. You can talk shit,
mm.
but
Like dirty
That could
talk.
be
You like dirty talk.
that could be part of talking shit though. All I'm saying,
no,
this is
but
why I'm saying this.
I
I
don't
live
see
I
that
live
that does nothing for me.
I
That's
live I live an unconventional relationship, as you know. I live a BDSM life. Now, when I meet a woman, and let's say she's not a sub, but she wants to transition, we go through a process of getting to know each other. So when you said earlier about, your man is, or you dated a guy who wasn't articulate and stuff like that, these things are not synonymous with a dominant man, because a dominant man is going to verbalize how he feels and what he likes. And you guys are going to learn each other's love languages. That's what it comes down to. Learning each other's love languages. Like, that could be something that turns him on and her as well. So it works.
I guess to
Right,
each
but
his
for
own.
her, it's a trigger being
But
being
I mean,
having
Yeah,
saying those words.
you know what it is?
exactly.
This is the thing, right? And I tell people this. I had a conversation recently about something like this. I was like, why is it okay for a man to have like, oh no, we was talking about threesomes, right? So I was on Clubhouse having a conversation, right? So the conversation, all the guys was like trying to ask, oh, would you do a threesome? Would you do? And I said, okay, so what if I didn't want another woman. What if I wanted another man? Everybody got so quiet. Cricket, cricket. So all the guys were like, I was just like, yeah, but what if I don't like women like that? Men are always thinking if they want a threesome, you got to bring another woman. But what if the woman wanted another man? How does that work? I just threw it out there because I'm like, y'all
That
always talk about threesome.
that has to be negotiated within them. Most men are not gonna want that, because it's a competition thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, especially for, okay,
But does that make me?
for
Because
let me
then
give
it
you
was
an
like, oh,
example.
you a whore. Then they was like, oh, well, you want to be slut or da da da. So now, so you're not a slut or a man whore when you want to have a threesome with another woman, but the woman is a slut or a whore if she wants to have a threesome with two guys and just her. And I didn't say, I didn't even get into specifics. I don't know, like what exactly is going to be happening or who's doing what to who, because the men
Mm.
don't necessarily need to touch each other, but it was an automatic.
Right, like a taboo. You said a
Like,
bad
woo, woo. I mean, I was just
So
playing.
if you have two men, sexual environment, specifically, are you dominating them both, or are you allowing them to dominate you? Versus two women being there and a man.
Well, I don't know if she would get with a woman though.
That's
That's
what
her thing.
I'm asking her the reason, because she said in the group, "What about two men?"
Hmm.
I
Were
just
you
threw it
just
up
were,
there
were you just doing that to play devil's advocate, or would that be something like a fantasy? Like, why can't it be two men? Why can't I be with?
it might be a fantasy because I've never
Okay,
actually done it
okay. So
before, but
now it being a fantasy, is it because you want to be dominated by those two men, or you want to dominate them?
I might want to do a little bit of both. But I mean, it's like when you could sit and watch, when you could like I don't know what you don't like. You don't necessarily have to
She
touch
said
the.
massage me.
Like you could be doing one thing while somebody's doing something else, so I could be doing something. Like I didn't really play it all out. Like I just thought I'm just like, what would happen? Like I really don't know what would what would happen per se.
Well, I'm gonna bring this up because it's perfect that you brought it up. In regards to being, with the whole doesn't like to be called a slut, but likes to be fucked like a slut. I don't know. I know I spoke with you, Discipline, getting ready for the show. Uh, have you ever seen that movie, The Summer of Sam, with John Leguizamo?
Me?
No.
Like, well, both of you. I know.
I've never
Okay,
seen it.
only because. So I'm gonna just give you a little backstory to the movie. He's a very alpha guy. He sleeps around. He has a wife. She's very beautiful. He sees her as pristine, right? But she knows that he sleeps around. So he tells her about a swingers party, and to please him because she loves him, she goes, and she does, I guess what would be considered Molly now, quaaludes. She does quaaludes. She's having sex with a female, and then she has sex with a man. He's having sex with other females. On their way home, they're driving, and she's like, "You're really quiet. Is everything okay?" And he turns around and he's like, "Oh, is everything okay? You fucking slut, you dirty pig." And now he starts throwing things in her face. And she's like, "Wait a second, I did that for you." I bringing that up because if she if she's doing it right for him because she knows that this is attractive to him, this is what she thought that he wants. How do you feel about men that do that? Like, this is something, he wanted, let's say a threesome. Let's say, a man says, let's have a threesome.
What happened?
It's okay. Example. I've interviewed swingers before, right?
Ooh.
So I was curious, and I asked my partner. I was like, "So, would you go to a party?" Like, I just was curious. But just because you go to a swingers party does not necessarily mean you need to indulge in anything.
You just want to watch because you're nosy,
right? Because they were explaining maybe. Inquisitive, so they were saying that I would be considered a vanilla, right?
Because
Like
you're not engaging.
Vanilla is like
you're new, like a newbie,
yeah,
new to
like a
regular or boring
person. You don't have any experience. You just coming into the game, right? So they were explaining to me how, the way that it goes down. It's not like people just snatch you up and whatever. Like, you have to say you and Discipline are together. Y'all go to a party, and say Discipline spots me. He would have to talk to you to get permission. Approach me to bring me in. It's not like they just go. They said that if you're gonna swing, like, there has to be a really good communication with you and your partner. Like,
that makes sense.
Definitely.
You're
talking about the polygamy or polyamorous dynamic. That's what you're talking about. That's what swingers kind of is. Yeah.
Right. But so my thing is, I've never. I think that who I am depends on who I'm with when it comes to certain things. Because
I agree.
Certain people will bring certain things out in you that another person won't. So, like, I might be with somebody who's more open, but I know, or like, say, if I want to go someplace, somebody who really, really cares me and see I'm your wife, whatever, you're not gonna want nobody else to touch me. Per se, depends on the person.
I like that she said that, because some women would have been like, no, this, that, all this generalized. I like that she says that. Different men bring out different results in women, and same thing with women. Different women bring out different results in men.
Yeah, because but if my thing, like, from the whole swingers perspective, I've never done it, just to claim I've never done it. But yeah, I mean, I'm a very inquisitive person. I like to learn things or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to partake in it, but I just want to understand. I'm not judging anybody. Like, you do what you want to do. So even one of the swingers, I know a guy, and him and his wife, he's married. So him and his wife went to the club or whatever, and he was telling me about the first time that he watched his wife get fucked by another dude. I was like, oh, let me clutch my pearls. Oh my God. Like, so he was like, yo, for him, it was, but mind you, she done watch him fuck I don't know how many bitches.
Oh, he had a problem with it?
And she, like, women, why are we expected? Like, we just gotta take shit. Y'all could do whatever you want. The minute the role is fair, and that's why I asked that question in that chat. So if I wanted to have a threesome with two men, then what? Everybody got all quiet. Why is it such a fucking double standard all the time? Not saying that that's what I want to do per se, but if I wasn't in a serious relationship and I was dating, if I just wanted to have some fun, then fuck it, I just might.
This goes back to ancestry. That's why. That's why it's like a weird thing. Like me, even when we did season 4, remember episode 4, Suhei, the polygamy versus monogamous? I didn't say that it could be one way. I said a woman could have two men, right?
Yeah.
But I believe, this is solely my opinion, like, don't chew my head off. I believe that a woman, when she gives herself to a man, she gives her all. If she feels like that man is providing everything, and providing doesn't necessarily mean finances. When you're a provider, you're providing protection, you're providing love, you're providing pleasure in whatever capacity, cultivating her soul, teaching her. You're providing. you know, we could even throw finance in there, but it doesn't necessarily have. If she got her own and she's like, yo, I don't need money,
I don't
but just
think.
provide those other things. If she's
Sorry
doing
to
that
cut you,
and
but the
the
finance,
sex is great,
I don't. I don't think.
she's prone to put her all in that man. That means she's not gonna seek other men because she's getting everything she wants from that provider. Especially if, and we wanted to bring her on. Remember, Sue, when we did the season premiere and we talked about how I said that I'm a worker, especially in bed. And I said, I'm never gonna be like this and just be like, yo, do work. And you said, let's bring her like a dominant female because that depends on how long. Maybe they were together for like 5 years and he works long hours and he's like, yo, do work. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, men are providing that sex. Women are fucking men. They don't have dicks. Some men like to be fucked in the ass with dildos.
We can fuck a man,
Okay.
but I mean, like, not with a dick,
No,
but
no,
we
no.
can.
Technically, you can't. Dick goes inside pussy. Even if you're riding him, you getting fucked. This is my opinion. Technically, you getting fucked. You can't fuck a man
If we on,
unless you have a strap on.
okay,
Then
well,
you fucking
we
him.
can agree to disagree here because I
Yes. So I believe that men are providing that pleasure. A woman's not gonna search when she's getting everything she wants from that man. So she's gonna give her all. If that man, she's if that man says, yo, listen, this is how I am, this is what I like, blah, 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 and everything else is good in the relationship, even the communication, she might say, okay, I'll try it. She's gonna structure her life around his lifestyle.
I think what she's saying is that, like, it's okay to have a threesome when there's two girls and a guy, but the moment she brought that up, it's not her that got quiet; it's all the guys got quiet.
all the
Like, why is
men,
that
all
right?
the
Like,
men,
why
and
is it
because
because
okay then?
because because a male because of a male, like an alpha male trait, possessiveness, territorial, they could be jealous. These are like these characteristics of alpha males. So when you say that, and let's say hypothetically, because I don't I'm just assuming here, let's say I assume it's a chat full of black people, black men are considered more alpha than the other races. This goes
mhm.
back to science. This goes back to the ancient Egyptians who were black. We have the most dominant genes on earth.
Some of the women were agreeing with the men. They're like, well, why would I want to do that?
Really?
What have
Some of
two?
the men, some of the women were like, no, that's too much, and da 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 da. But I don't know if they felt like I was thinking that they're gonna get penetrated in every hole. That's not wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't specify per se, like how,
Right.
like
Right.
I don't like honestly. I just it depends on like maybe I just want you to kiss me and you to just like I don't know, but
Hmm.
um yeah, I mean everybody I guess in their head has their own like
Right. What
idea
the scenario is gonna be?
of
Yeah.
what it's gonna be. I don't necessarily have a scenario per se, but I've like been in rooms where people are having sex. I'm not doing anything, but y'all just doing whatever, and I'm sitting here. I'm trying to y'all whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like minding my business over here, and y'all
She
okay.
said,
You know, I'm just trying to sleep. Y'all disturbing my peace, but you know, it's fine, whatever. You know, so it's like it just depends, like I said, on what you're into. But as far as like I was gonna say earlier, to get back to your question, I don't think that I would want to be with somebody with the great sex that treated me bad. Because if you have money and the sex is great and you treat me like shit and I'm like emotionally feeling away and you putting me like I'm not no.
Hmm.
I don't think I mean
So
just
you rather have the good love, bad sex, and he pays the bills?
I guess if I had to choose, if I
Hmm.
had to choose, because I'm like, all right, the bad sex is like, okay, well, I'll just be doing this really for you. Not that I'm,
Hmm.
but just like you don't want to
So
be
that's kind of submissive, right? Like if it's bad sex, but you're like, oh, I'm just doing this for you because you like it.
okay. Put it this way. Let's talk about dick size for a second, right?
Okay.
Okay, does size matter? I'm just saying, like we've had this this discussion. size does matter to a certain extent.
I said this, Sue. I said this.
To a certain
What
extent
you
to
said.
me. Okay, so I've encountered in my life, I've encountered, you know, small men on the smaller side.
Talk about it.
Then
Talk about it.
Then I encountered someone bigger. So after being with the bigger person, it's really gonna be hard to go back to the small, because now you kind of know, like, there's a difference. You feel a difference, but if the smaller one can compensate in other ways, like
eat you out and
As
right,
long as
bring
they're trying,
toys,
they can.
bring
yeah,
toys.
I mean, because they have to, because like
Right, because they know.
right, because they know that
They
they
see
not
it.
packing and they can't please you. You're gonna have to find a way. So I guess, I mean, like, this is why you don't put yourself in situations as a woman. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's good that my ass is home. It's good. It's good that I stay home,
For
because
me,
like,
for me, right? I
Oh,
would
yeah.
choose the bad sex, good love, and she doesn't do anything for me financially. That's what
and
I
why
would that's what I would choose
for you? Why?
because because I look at it this way. If that's somebody that I want to build with and I want to be a life partner with, we're not going to be having sex all the time. If one day, if God willing, I'm going to be 80, 90, if I'm lucky enough to live as long as my grandfather, and he died at 100 years old.
Wow.
We're not having sex all the time when you're 80, 90, or whatever.
Yeah, you can't even.
That care, that catering, that love is going to matter more.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, and I'm also a worker in bed. So reality is, even if it's bad, it's still good because I'm a worker. It's like cold pizza. It's still good. Like, to me, I could never really have bad sex because I'm the worker. And I take pride in working. I'm not lazy in bed. So, but I'd rather have the love than the sex because we think about it. We're not 15 anymore. We could be fucking 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Even if you live with somebody,
People got shit to do. Like, I don't.
we got responsibility. So it's like, the reality is, those 15 minutes you're in it, 20 minutes you're in it, if you're adding foreplay, kissing, touching, toys, or whatever, that's temporary pleasure. The emotional intimacy, the psychological intimacy, those are the things that's gonna matter.
Right.
Those are the things that's gonna build. So for me, if I have great sex but bad love, now I'm gonna feel like I'm in a friends with benefits, and I don't do those. I don't do one night stands and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather do that because I take pride in being an earner. So I could always get it. I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be a millionaire or make 6 figures. I could work 2 jobs and combine them and make 6 figures. So I'm take pride in that. A woman doesn't need to do something for me financially. However, if we're married, we're living together, and she says she wants to work, then I'm giving her a bill because I don't like lazy people.
Wait. So.
A bill to pay?
Yes. So
So.
that means, let's say I make 7 figures and she makes 5 figures. Then I'm gonna pay majority of the mortgage, but you're gonna pay for internet. You're gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay for that. I'm gonna pay most of the bills, but you're gonna pay this because it's almost like, to me, I look at it like, when you work hard for something, and it's like hard earned money or whatever it is, you're gonna appreciate it more. That's why I feel like a hardworking woman who makes her own bread is not gonna care about a billionaire that's over here like, oh, send me a titty for 7K on a weekly basis. She's not gonna care about that because it's gonna be like, I don't want to subject myself to these conditions. And
Exactly.
like you stated earlier, no man is willing to give up that much capital without something in return.
So wait, let me ask you guys a question. What kind of people, like what kind of woman or man do you think would choose to have
A gold
good
digger?
sex and bad love?
Oh.
I mean,
Oh,
you like my thing is some people are ignorant. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of feel like if you were talking to like a little teeny bopper, like a young person, yeah, get that money, get that.
That's
Once
the
you have
generation that's coming
experience,
up now. Yeah.
and right, and once you've lived a little bit, and once you know, have encountered certain things, I think your perspective changes.
Mhm.
And also it depends on, I guess, the demographic, like geographically, like how you were brought up, where you're from. Because I mean, not necessarily per se. So put it this way. So like I grew up single parent household. We struggled.
mm-hmm.
I did not depend on anybody for anything. And I even felt bad. I didn't even want to ask my mom for anything because I knew she was struggling. So I figured out how to do things because I didn't want to stress her.
Yeah, but you also have girls that grew up the same way, but in
Right.
a whole different way of thinking. Like, fuck that, they're gonna pay for my shit.
You know what I
Yeah.
think? You know what I think? I think, to keep it a buck, I think men are prone to do the great sex, bad love than women are. Only because, and this is solely my opinion, like I said, like, don't chew my head off. This is my opinion. I believe women are more emotional than men. So there's always been a saying, women fall in love early, men fall in love late.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
Because women are so emotional, they're more internal. Men are more visual. Men are more external. Whereas, you know, if you have like a high extensive vocabulary, you might be able to seduce her more. Now you're building that sapiosexual where she's falling in love with you because now she's giving you her mind. Eventually her body's gonna follow. Whereas a lot of us men, not me because I'm a sapiosexual, so I'm not in this category, but most of us men are more of, oh, she look good, she got her abs done, she got her titties done. They're thinking about penetration. It may not be about pussy, but they're thinking about penetration. They don't care about the love. They're more prone to do the friends with benefits thing. But a woman, eventually, when you're giving her that good dick, she gonna connect that with emotions. She gonna start
Mm.
catching feelings, and you're doing the right stuff. You're providing.
Not all women, because I know some females that be like they worse than men.
Okay. So most women then.
Yes,
Most women
most
like
of them.
and I've encountered. I had a scenario. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's I think it's just the type of person I am. So number one, I'm very private. Number two, I don't do the sharing and the say. So Suji, so me and you are friends, right? If I know that you like another dude, I would not go near him. I wouldn't touch him. Even if this is just me. Even if I know that he likes me, but if I know that you like him or you had like, I just wouldn't even feel right. If say I'm dating,
But those are also morals because you're
right? So
loyal.
that was what I was about to say. Morals. People do not have morals and values anymore. I don't know what like I would feel betrayed if I knew any female that I even call a friend try to fuck with, or if you even dated anybody after me, like an ex, I'd be like, bitch, you're done. You're canceled. Because I'm big on loyalty.
Mm.
Mm.
Very big on loyalty. I don't believe in the, okay, so okay. Example, my sister, her ex, bastard. After he put my sister through her, do you know this motherfucker tried to actually ask me to go out to dinner?
Mm.
For,
That's
for,
awful.
for what? For what? Like, I'm not, like, what am I going to, so you're a piece of shit. Like, I don't
Wow.
play those games. I don't play those games with people, especially not family. So I take it very personal. And I've had it happen to me where I've had like family member or like close friends. I found out after the fact, somebody that I talked to, even my thing is, even if I wasn't in a relationship with a dude, just the fact that I touched him, he should be off limits to you.
Mm.
Mm.
That's
I
just
I
my
I think like that. I think like that now, because when I was younger, obviously I didn't have knowledge of self. I would, and I didn't think like that. I thought differently. Like, well, if he's giving me attention, and it wasn't all the time. It happened maybe like once,
mm-hmm.
but I do definitely think like that now. And I teach my daughter and my son, because it's you want that respect. A man and a woman want that
loyal.
respect.
It's a loyalty thing. Like I just never understood it. Like I would never want what you had.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's just kind of nasty to me. Like if something happened by years went by and you happen to meet this person and say you didn't know, that's different. If you didn't know and then you already wind up getting involved with somebody, but you didn't know. I cut somebody off because I knew that they dated somebody that I knew.
Mm.
And I really liked the guy.
Mm.
And I don't think I ever told her. I never told her. Me and the dude's cool. He's married now to somebody totally different. But at the time, like I was feeling him, but he had some tendencies I didn't like. But I stopped speaking. I didn't feel right. I was like, damn, I'm cool with this girl. Like we mad cool. Like I'm dating. I was like, damn, I can't even. I can't even take it too far because. But he told me he was honest.
Yeah, like
And yeah.
I've dealt with the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I've had friends, ex girls hit me up, but I'm the same way as you. I'm loyal to a fault because at the end of the day, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah.
You know, and I stated this in episode 22, Alpha versus Dominant. Like, there's plenty of fish in the sea. If you know, why am I gonna ruin this bond? You know, I've had this bond with you
Right.
prior to that.
It's not worth
I
it.
barely know that person or whatever it is, and it's like it's more of a, you know, like you said, it's a moral thing. You know.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
also, you're a whole type of different man than most men. Most men aren't like you. And we stated this before. Most men are like, you know, they cheat spur of the moment. You know, like they see it, it's there, it's thrown on them, and they'll be like, well, okay. They're not thinking about,
I'm
oh, well, I have a special
paranoid. Yo, I'm paranoid. I'm
and
always
that's
thinking somebody trying to set me up.
and it's crazy because I've had like my ex's friends try to like hit me up after we broke up. I'm like, so to me, what does that make me look like if I would actually entertain the bullshit? So like, oh, she done been passed through. I don't like nobody talking about me. I don't want nobody to have nothing to say. No, you didn't have me. And I've had dudes lie and say that they were with me, that they weren't with me. For I don't know, bragging rights or whatever the hell y'all certain dudes be thinking, like immature bullshit. I'm like, I've never been with this guy, but you telling all your friends that we slept together.
But I think that's immaturity. It happened to me, but way young when we were like
But I
18.
don't even care, like stuff like that. I just laugh at it. I'm like, all right, I know the truth.
Listen,
whatever.
you need to make better choices when it comes to men. You need to see these red flags.
I'm talking about the past. We're talking about the past.
Listen. You know,
you don't be finding out stuff till like years later.
Listen, you and I are cool, and it's better that I say this shit to you, whether you like it or not,
you know
and
what?
tell you the truth, give you some tough love, than to not say shit.
Yes, right. So let me ask you something then. Like, okay, as a, I guess, because I guess I'm an alpha and I'm also a feminist, I guess, in a way too. Like, I really strongly believe certain things. Like, I'm not the typical female, and there's certain things that you just can't say to me because I kind of feel like whatever you can do, I can do too.
Wrong.
So, except that I don't have a dick, but
no, it's not. It's not that. Listen, like,
no, but
like, what are you doing tomorrow? Let's go to the gym and see if you could put up the same weight as I do.
Oh, come on now. Well, we know.
You said anything. You said anything.
Okay, let me rephrase. No.
Good luck. I've had this conversation with him too.
Okay, when I say anything, I mean that certain action. I'm not talking about working out and bench pressing because we don't want to be in a gym looking like Hercules as a woman. I don't want to look like a bodybuilder.
Okay.
But,
so do you do yard work?
If I had to, yes, I would, but I don't. I don't need to. Where I live right now, I don't need to. So
are you a handy, like, are you a handy type of person?
I am handy.
Okay, so if you, hypothetical scenario, you and I live together, we're sleeping together, and we hear a noise. You said you could do everything I could do, so you on that 50-50 shit. You said you come over to me because I'm an author. So let me paint this scenario. You come up to me, oh baby, I think I hear it. Well, you would never call me baby. because that's submissive. But you'd be like, "Oh, daddy, or papi, I hear a noise.
Fucking no
You
daddy.
want to go get that?" I'm be like, "Nah, we on some 50-50 shit. Go get it.
No, but
I'll wait over here."
no.
You would
We don't go
not do that to
together.
her.
Listen, I wouldn't do that to her, but
We
I'm
would
just
go
saying
together. I'd be like, I'm
hypothetically,
not gonna.
she said that she could do anything a man could do. So
She
that
said
means you're
we'd go
providing
together.
You didn't
protection.
even.
So that
Yeah,
means you're
She
providing
said, you
protection.
get a knife, I get a knife. We're stabbing this guy together.
right. We gonna do it together. If we gonna attack, we gonna attack together. I got your back.
Like this, like together,
You gonna
like
be in
ready,
a front.
ready.
You be in a front, but I'm gonna have your back though. I have the phone if I gotta call 911. You know what I'm saying? But I'm swinging too, for
She
sure.
said you're gonna be in the front. I got your back, babe.
You mean just to clarify? You mean that women could
I
do?
mean, like emotion wise, as far as getting involved in relationships with no attachments.
Oh, that's what you mean. I could do what a man could do.
That's
You're
what I.
specifying because I was saying general because I thought it
You
was
ain't
a
let me
general
finish
statement.
though, but you ain't let me finish. Like I was trying to fit, but okay, I see what you're saying. But okay, I can do yard work. I've put things together. I've assembled like cabinets and stuff like that. And I'm very impatient too, and I hate waiting. So if you at work all day and I want something done, I'm like, babe, I'm not trying to make you feel like less of a man, but I need this shit done like yesterday, and you're taking too fucking long to do it. So I'm gonna need to figure it out because I'm tired of waiting for you. So my partner or whatever at the time, maybe they felt the way, but I'm like, yo, but why am I wait? Like, why do I have to ask? And that's the problem. Sometimes that
Strong women don't want to do that. They don't want to ask. They're so like you just stated what you came
Well,
from.
she's used to doing it by herself whenever
Yes.
she wants.
Yeah.
That's
So you don't
fine.
want to
But
feel.
if I had a
You don't want to.
friend that could do it for me, that's a male, but then I couldn't call another man. If I had a man, I couldn't call another man to do it because then they're gonna be like, wondering probably, well, how did she get this together? But I am capable of. I've put together things in, cabinets and dressers and all that shit because I know how to follow directions. But you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't necessarily want to, but why is it that if I ask you to do something and then you take it forever, now I'm going to kind of be resenting you a little bit as a man because I'm like, all right, I shouldn't have even had to ask. If you came to
you lose that respect for him.
Communication. You always have to ask.
But
That's
if I ask, but why do I have to ask? Like if you came to the crib and you saw a box and it looks like something clearly needs to be put together.
Light, it's called communication.
You should have been putting that shit together.
No, it's called communication. You're assuming like the garbage is full. Hello? No, it's called communication. Like don't yell, articulate.
Nobody's yelling. I'm just saying. But why? Like, okay, so what do you expect as a man for your woman to do? Because do you expect in a relationship, is she doing all the cooking? Can you cook? Because I don't want to.
I can.
Okay.
But I believe in gender roles.
Can I say something? I'm really
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I'm gonna have to leave you guys to go at it by yourselves.
Oh.
Oh
no. I gotta go, but listen, I'm sure you can hold your own with him. I've seen you do it before.
Yeah.
But Mr. Discipline, can you exit me out? Because I don't know what I'm doing over here.
I just take mine, so go ahead.
So like I was saying, like I do believe in gender roles. However, like I said, I get into my relationships where things are communicated and established. It's not I get into it and it's like, oh, you automatically have to do this. I'm a guy that's not spontaneous. I'm a planner. So once I get into a relationship, it's like this stuff is communicated and it's a consensual thing. It's not like, oh, you're gonna do this or it's the highway. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the difference with me versus like other men who are maybe narcissistic or egomaniacs. I don't fall in that category. I think that when it comes to sex and money, women have that more than men where they could get it easier than men because and what I've observed, right, through society, I've witnessed more homeless men than there are homeless women. And I believe this is because a woman could always live under a man rent free because she might look good, because she might be great, providing sexual pleasures, her status.
You do know there's sugar mamas also, right?
Yeah, there's sugar mamas, but how often do you hear that? It's probably like 6% of them out of 94 versus more sugar daddies than sugar men. It's more men are more prone. These are like rich men, right? Who make like 9 figures a year. They're prone to be like, oh, you look good, you could twerk, your body's done, you got good head or whatever. You can live under my roof for free. Versus a woman saying, oh, come live with me, I'm gonna take care of everything. This is what I believe. I believe like it's harder for men because men have to sometimes compete with other men. I'm not putting myself in this category, but they have to compete with other men. This guy makes 7 figures. I gotta make 8. I gotta do this. I gotta be a high earner because
Why
I'm
do guys do that?
because
Why do you need to compete
sometimes
with another man?
men have the misconception of this is what's going to get women. I believe that men are not confident without women. You never meet a man who's confident without a woman. Have you ever met a confident virgin? You
Can't say that I have, but
you
I'm
understand
thinking
what
about it.
you understand what I'm saying? Women inspire that king. Like when she's that queen and she could speak to that king in you, she's empowering you.
I
As a
kind of feel like I always want to see people do good, right? Especially if you're with me, right? But if I'm trying to say inspire or coach you or show you that there's another way, which I've done before, you can't be accusing me of wearing the pants or trying to control you or whatever it is, because I've had that before where it's not that I'm trying to control you. Because I want to see you do better,
have
especially if you're gonna rock with me.
now you're speaking because you were in this situation
Yeah.
in the past, right? Or currently?
Hmm. In the
Okay.
past.
Did you articulate that in the past? Or was it just, oh,
No,
shut up or whatever, and then you just kept it in
no,
your
you
mind
know
and
what? I probably okay. Maybe I don't necessarily communicate as, but no, I'm a very vocal person, so I'm pretty sure that I've said, maybe not in those words that I just how I just said it now, but it's like if I say to you, yo, we gonna be like Jay and Beyonce, like you get the analogy, you get the comparison, so you should, if you got any fucking sense in your head, should understand what that means. Like I should not have to spell that out for you. Just saying.
that's what
If
I'm
I'm
saying.
comparing, if I'm
It's
saying, oh, we should be like, oh, like Obama and Michelle. I'm
it's the
like, if
type
we like roles, like if I'm giving you scenarios to compare, like this is what we should strive to be.
I go back with saying it's the men that you're choosing. Women choose at the end of the day. A man could walk up to you in the club. He sees you look good. Barnes and Nobles. Oh, you look good. I want to get to know you. Let me get your number. Or can I get your number? You have to say yes. You choose. Women are choosing constantly. They're choosing to take their panties off. They're choosing to be courted. They're choosing to give out their numbers. It's the man that you're choosing. So you have a boss mindset. You have a mindset of partnership. If you get with a man who doesn't have that mindset, you gotta bounce because he doesn't have that, oh, I want to build with you mindset. I want to build equity together where we could be like that Bonnie and Clyde, or like you were saying, J and B. He probably doesn't have that, even though you're trying to do, you guys are incompatible. The sex could be great. The, you know, I don't know, whatever. Maybe he's not doing financial. Maybe he is taking care of your bills, but he doesn't have those goals that you have as far as
So
relationship.
like we were talking earlier about like the signs and certain things. Like I know Aries to be very like goal oriented as far as like most of the Aries I
Yeah,
know.
because
But then,
my grandfather, the one that died at 100, he was an Aries. You
oh,
know what I'm
okay,
saying?
so you know the personality, but then I look at third by the way, and I have more than one sister, so we don't know who we're talking about. So then I look at my Aries brother,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to figure out. I kind of was like his mother a little bit, like growing
Well,
up, and I always try to like guide him. But he is not as ambitious as I would like him to be.
well, you said you grew up without your father, right?
Hmm.
Did he have a
Yeah.
father figure or a mentor growing up, or it was just you and the mom?
No, not really. Not
That plays
really.
a
Not really.
factor. That plays a factor.
Yeah, but the
Psychologically,
thing is,
and
at some point though, at some point, I'm not. There was okay. At some point, you were around men and you seen things. Like I learned from observation. I don't necessarily need to go through hell and high water to get the lesson.
but not
But
everybody can learn like you. You
mm,
understand what I'm saying? Just
okay.
because he's around men and he sees this stuff doesn't necessarily mean he has a mentor that's
But
saying,
even you, okay, so he has friends that are very like successful who have gone on to get like good jobs. That he got one of his homeboys is a nurse, the other one, you know what I'm saying? Like get good jobs, go and do well. You, it's not like you don't have friends in your circle in your same age group that have not done well. So if you're telling me men like to be in competition, I don't know who he competing with because it don't seem like he competing with nobody because you're not doing what you got to do to better yourself to get ahead. So me, little, I mean, as your sister, I'm like, okay, this, every suggestion that I make, I could do. You clearly you can't do it on your own. Clearly, because you think you know every fucking thing.
"Hmm,
Um, if you knew everything, you would be in a better position. You know what
is
I'm
he a
saying?
younger brother or older?
Yes, younger,
Younger? Hmm,
younger.
yeah,
But at some point, I have to like, I'm done. I'm done. They say you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
yeah, that's a
And
fact.
then I find myself stressing out because I want so much more for you than you want for yourself, and it can't be that way. So guess what? I will fall back, it'll break my heart. But don't ask me for shit. If you
Mm.
get you getting caught up with these women who I don't even know where you found them, but with the like that like you can do better for
They don't
yourself.
have, they're not of value. That's what
Right,
you're trying.
and I hate to, yeah, and I hate to sound like that, but yeah, you looking at him for what? Like, what is he gonna do for? So you want him to be a daddy to the 3 kids that you already have?
Mm-hmm.
Like certain things, I just don't get it. So it frustrates me and it aggravates me because I just don't get it.
Mm,
Why would you want to put yourself? And then you were talking about self-esteem. So
mm-hmm.
maybe he doesn't have that self-esteem. Maybe this person is
100%.
making him feel better about himself because he don't have it all together. So maybe if he get with somebody who he um feels is lower than him.
They're on that. It's an even playing field, in a way. Yeah.
But to me, it's like you want to do better. That's just me. I just want to do better. I don't
Think
know.
about it. Think about it. Sorry to cut you off, but think about it. It does play a factor of the woman you associate or women you associate yourself around. Because think of if Jay-Z wasn't with someone like Beyonce, who had a business mind, who was oriented or whatever it is, and he was still with, like, saying, if he wasn't with someone like that, he wouldn't be in a position where he is now. You understand what I'm saying? Because he didn't just become a billionaire on his own. She assisted in that.
Right.
What's that saying? Behind every great man is a woman who helped them get there. Is that correct? That's a
Yeah.
fact. You understand? So these men that get with these low value women, these women are either they're becoming a bill now, they're dragging you down, they're fucking your energy and making you do all these things, making you crazy or whatever. It's about the people that you're associating yourself with. And this is the same thing for women who if you're a woman who is of high value, you're goal oriented, ambitious, and you're with a male who's a beta male or a simp, which he's lazy, he's not ambitious, he's on some, well, where do you want to go eat, baby?
As far as the question that you asked, it's hard because like once you've experienced both, it's like you know what you want and what might be fun and exciting, but that fades away at some point. So what
Mm.
happens when all of that is gone? Like even when you get married, they say for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer. What happens? Like I don't think that the people that are coming up now, the caliber of person that is coming up now things have changed so drastically as far as like when you're talking about morals and values and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, there's this show I want you to go watch if you haven't seen it already on Netflix. Have you heard about Bridgerton yet?
Mm-mm.
Go and watch Bridgerton. And I'm gonna tell you, I watched it because my sisters, they were like, oh, it's not really like a man show, but guys could learn. Back then, it's like the timeline is back in the days, men
Ancient history.
did not touch a woman until they got married.
Mm.
Men respected women so much
But
back then.
social media fucked a lot of that shit up,
But
right?
it was messed up before social media, but but I'm just saying, like, it it was like an honor
Mm-hmm.
for a man to be with a virgin. It was
Mm-hmm.
an honor. It was like a respect thing. Like, if anybody knew that you had any kind, even kissed, just a kiss, even, and to us it's just a kiss. But back then, if anybody knew that another man kissed that woman, she's considered like tainted. Like, nobody would want her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we've come a long way, but just to show you, I don't know how and why things change. I guess, women's rights, and we shouldn't be looked at as sluts or whores because we have desires just like you do. But I mean, back then it was a thing of respect. Like, a wife it's like a prize that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Men today, I feel, do not respect women at all. And like yourself, like, you a different type of dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, when I look at you, I mean, we know each other, and I know certain things about you. I don't know like every single thing about you, but I do know, like, I would consider you like a man.
Mm-hmm.
A man should kind of be, not, you know,
Appreciate
everybody
that.
doesn't have the same attitude, but like the provider,
I
the
appreciate that.
protector, and you have that thing about you. You know what I'm saying? But another man might be intent or may not know how to take you because they're not secure with themselves. If they come around you, they're gonna be like, "Who this nigga think he is?" And he think he, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not secure and they don't know who they are.
Yes, and like I stated earlier, when I get with a woman, it could even be two women or whatever it is, I'm thinking about team. Whereas those men who feel that type of way, they're thinking about competition. Yo, she makes more money than me. I feel a type of way. Oh, I gotta make more money than her, and I'm automatically alpha by default. Or
So,
she's more intelligent than I am, and this makes me feel a type of way. It's a competition versus it's a team thing, because
right,
we're gonna have our strengths and weaknesses.
right.
If I have a weakness that you have a strength in, you could help me.
Exactly. And why don't more men think like
And
that?
I
Because it's not a competition. Like, some men, I don't get it. And then see, like, your mindset is team, but they're like, oh, she thinks she better. Oh, she trying to wear the pants. Oh, she trying to be like my mother. Or somebody's trying to tell you something. It's not because a woman might think that they're better than you. They're just trying to help you. In the Bible, it says God created a helpmeet.
mm,
Helpmeet. Don't mean that you're supposed to step all over us. A helpmeet. But my thing with that, you're not gonna take advantage. There's one thing, if there's nothing that I wouldn't do for someone if I cared about them. But if I feel like you trying to take advantage or you trying to manipulate some things, all of that will stop.
that's also ego. Me, I'm a very adamant person. I'm steadfast in my ways and my beliefs. However, if you tell me something and you're like, yo, I think this is more conducive, I'm gonna look at it, look at all the angles. If you're right, we're gonna do it. If you're wrong, and it's like, yo, this is gonna be the outcome or whatever, no, we sticking to this, then that's what it's gonna be.
Why does it have to be right or wrong? Why can't it be like, I think a lot of times we make the mistake of always looking at things right or wrong. There's no right and wrong per se. It's just that everybody, what I'm learning more now, is everyone has a different way of doing things. It doesn't mean that your way is right and my way is wrong. It just means that you're used to doing things a certain way and I'm used to doing things another way. So you may just not be comfortable doing it my way
Mm-hmm.
because you're so used to doing it your way. It doesn't make it right or wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like, that's something that I kind of have thought about more recently
Mm-hmm.
because, me and my partner, like, bump
Bump
heads for
heads.
certain things.
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, if I'm
You said he's
cooking,
an Aries too?
no, he's a Libra.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm cooking chicken,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cook the chicken. I know I'm gonna clean the chicken. I'm gonna soak it. I'm gonna with the lime and the vinegar. I'm gonna do it the way that I do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're used to doing it. Your mother taught you, like he can cook. You know, your mother taught you how to do. So my thing is, if I'm in the kitchen,
Let
get
you
out.
do your thing. Let you do your
Because
thing.
when you're in the kitchen, you don't want me coming. You don't want me nowhere near in the kitchen when you in
That
the kitchen. But then
listen,
you want to come when I'm in the kitchen. Like, did you question to me? Did you do this? Did you get the fuck out? Get
that
out of the
that
fucking
has to be articulated.
Oh, it was.
There has to be ground rules. Like,
It
yo,
was.
I'm a better cook than you. So relax. This is my domain. Maybe not like that.
And it's not even
Maybe not
okay.
like that, because
No,
that's
and
too
I
dominant.
thought of
That's too dominant, and that might make you feel
something.
like in attack mode.
Some things you might know how to make porridge better than me because I mean I raised in making porridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean we have farina, it's the same shit. Cream of wheat,
Yeah.
porridge, just all the same shit. But
Yeah,
you might
yeah,
make it a little different. But you put in a whole 5-pound bag of fucking sugar in there, which I don't understand why we need all that sugar. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna make it the same way. So you might feel that you cook better than me because you make it sweeter, but I'm trying to eat healthy, and you trying to kill me with the diabetes with a 5-pound bag of sugar in the porridge. Like it, you know what I'm saying? So just because you do things a certain way and I do, it doesn't make it right or
yeah,
wrong. It's just you have your way,
yeah,
and then we kind of gotta adjust, adapt.
yeah.
That's
I believe that you need to communicate adequately, not like yelling or whatever. Articulate.
I don't even
Um,
have to say nothing half
come
the time. I just gotta just
c-
look like
come to an agreement and accept each other's like differences and
that.
understand. That's the main thing about the longevity of a relationship. Because you saying all these things to me, does he know about this? Probably not.
He does. He does. He does. He does. He does. Okay. There was a comedian. There was a comedian, right? She was like, all right, as far as guys go, like you gotta be doing something. Like how she put it, there's
Providing
something
some
that
way.
you have to be doing, like at least, right? So somebody could look at somebody and be like, oh, they don't do much, but at least they take out the garbage. At least
Yeah.
they
There are
cook.
certain
At
things
least
that
they
they
clean.
do
You have
that
to be doing
compensate.
right. You have to be doing at least something. So if there is no at least, then you definitely are gonna probably have to go. So I think a lot of
Yeah.
women might put up with certain things because they be like, they try to reason. Ah, well, he may
Also,
not do this, but at least he does that, or at least he's nice, or
yeah.
at least
Yes,
he
because
listens to me.
it's about what they're providing in the relationship,
And
you
it
know?
doesn't necessarily. And honestly, what happens if there's no money?
What do you mean?
Like people finances are important. I'm not gonna say
Mm-hmm.
finances are not important, but that should not be like the top
The top
priority of the list.
priority.
It has to be how you relate to the other person, and the communication is very important.
Yeah.
And I know this. We definitely, men and women, we just communicate differently. And
Differently. Yeah.
I also saw a comedian. He was like, we don't we want to be by ourselves, he said, but we don't want to be alone. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
Mm,
about?
that
like, like men. So he's talking on behalf of men. He's like, we don't want to be by ourselves, but we want to be left. What the
be
hell does that mean? So it's
I
like,
think
as women,
be,
like,
be sorry. I think it's because when you're single, you still get those benefits. That when you're married or in a relationships, you think those benefits stop. Whether it's going out to the club every weekend, hanging out with your boys, maybe liking other girls' pictures. I don't know what single men do, but that's what I'm saying. Like maybe that could be a thing. Also for women too. Whereas that shit hits you at night. when you just there, you want to be cuddled. It could be Valentine's Day. You don't have a boo, but during the day, you're doing your thing. You're going to the club or whatever it is, and that's
Those
just
things
me.
are not important. Like I'm realizing, especially with this whole pandemic thing, those things are really not important.
Yeah,
They're
but I'm
not.
just throwing
I mean, like
hypotheticals.
social, like if you have to now evaluate if the world were to blow up and there was nothing left, like who is gonna be with you? Like who's gonna be around you? What's gonna be important? And that's
Yeah.
kind of like what I think about now. Like if I never speak on a mic or do a show again, like what am I left with? Like what am I left with? Like I love engaging with people and talking to
Mm.
people and hashing things out and talking about issues and bringing some sort of enlightenment, hopefully. Like I'm not the Dalai Lama or the guru or the expert on everything, but when I speak from the heart, and it's like 100% real. Like I'm not making anything up. I am who I am. So like I've learned in this whole situation. Yeah, I did say I miss being at the club. I miss shaking it up. But guess who? When I used to go out for the most part, I would go out with my partner.
Mm.
I would go out with him. Who am I? I'm not going to shake my ass on nobody else. Even if I was out with the girls, I'm still not doing that because they gonna go back. Oh well, that's his girl. You know how many dudes approach me? They see me they approach me. Where your man at? If I'm by myself, because they know when they see me, they see him.
Mm.
So it's a respect thing too. But it's crazy because dudes would be like, "Oh, your man, you know what I'm saying?" Like they trying to see where they could fit in. But it's my job as a woman to like put you in your place. Like
Yeah.
act like he's here, nigga. Don't start with the bullshit. Act like he's here. Don't. You know what I mean?
So I
Like,
love this topic. It's like a loaded question with this topic. We might have to do a part two.
yeah.
We could bring you back in, but on our show we like to do final thoughts. So do you have any final thoughts?
At the end of the day, you should do what makes you happy and what makes you feel good. If someone is throwing it down and slinging the D and making you feel like crap and you crying every day, then the D is not worth it. I would rather have someone treating me better,
And
because,
have a 2-inch dick, nigga.
well, I mean, why can't we have it all? I'm not saying all of that, but like when like you said, when you're old and gray, will it matter? What's
Yeah.
gonna matter when you have nobody to talk to
Mm-hmm.
and your back went out and your knees you can't do nothing and you're not swinging off the chandeliers no more? Like what's gonna happen then when you're old and gray and you can't do those things anymore?
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of, I know it's hard to think about because trust me, but you have to put that into
In
consideration.
perspective. Yeah. 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 So my final thoughts are just thank you for taking the time to be on the show. Um sharing your experiences with us.
I
And
told way too much.
what happened?
I've said way too much.
Yeah. But we might have to do a part two. And if we do, we could bring you back in, if you want to come
Okay.
back.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. Actually, I appreciate this because a lot of people don't know. I'm the one used to asking questions, and so you got some things out of me that I
Yeah.
may not necessarily have wanted to
I
talk
mean,
about,
I
but
mean, hey, I was on your show twice, so
I know. So it's only right. Okay,
you
you
do
had.
love to debate. We'll say that. All right,
Thank
like, have a good night. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.
Bye, guys.